Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 failed attempts, Marvel has finally delivered us a great Fantastic Four film, and it only took 20 years. We genuinely might be back. For real this time. So the Fantastic Four First Steps is an all newer and better Fantastic Four film taking place in the MCU. The film is directed by Matt Shakman and it stars Pedro Pascal, Vanessa Kirby, Joseph Quinn, Eben Moss-Backrack, Julia Gardner, and Ralph Ineson. The Fantastic Four face their most daunting challenge yet as they defend Earth from Galactus and Silver Surfer. The Fantastic Four coming to the MCU was inevitable. From the day this project was first announced, everyone had high hopes and cautious optimism. After multiple production changes and god-awful fan castings, the MCU's Fantastic Four is finally here, and quite frankly, it's fantastic. Guys, I couldn't pass up on the opportunity. I had to. When the cast for this film was first announced, people were concerned. Some people felt like Pedro didn't look like Reed Richards. Some people felt like Joseph Quinn couldn't do Johnny Storm. People even questioned the chemistry amongst the four and how it would translate on the big screen. And I'm here to tell y'all right now, this cast was incredible. The chemistry amongst the four was fluid and organic. They felt like an actual family instead of a bunch of strangers trapped in a room together. All of the actors played their part to the best. Now, I'll be honest, out of the entire cast, I was the most concerned with Pedro as Reed Richards. To play the world's smartest man who goes about life with every single minute calculation in each step that he takes, Pedro absolutely pulled it off. What I love the most about how they handled Reed Richards in this movie is how Reed is having this conflict between creating solutions for the worst possible scenarios and being a father. Reed is so focused on being prepared for every single situation that he sometimes forgets that he needs to come back to reality and be a father to Franklin. It created a very interesting conflict within himself that was doing more harm than good to Sue, and the way they executed it could not have been any better. Now look, I had my concerns about Pedro as Reed Richards, but after this movie, you can't tell me he's not one of the greatest. You cannot tell me this man doesn't have range. This is Reed Richards. Vanessa Kirby as Sue Storm was magnetic. Sue Storm is the heart and the soul of this entire movie. She brings in kindness, she brings in love, and Vanessa Kirby brings in such a powerful presence to the role. She's powerful as a mother and she's powerful as a fighter. And speaking of powerful, I'm glad this movie showed why Sue Storm is the most powerful of the four. If you read comics or even do a little bit of research, you would know that Sue Storm is easily the most powerful of the four. Granted, Franklin Richards is more powerful than all four of them, but out of the core four, Sue Storm is the most powerful. And I'm glad this movie utilized that and showed why. I think everyone that doubted Joseph Quinn as Johnny Storm owes him an apology. Even though he wasn't my personal pick, I still had confidence in the guy. Joseph Quinn absolutely delivers as Johnny Storm. I'm glad that this version of Johnny Storm has more heart and more characterization to him. I know in the past we've seen Johnny Storm play as like the kind of dumb and cocky guy who was a womanizer and used flirting to get what he wants. And while that is somewhat kind of present in this movie, they do more than that with his character. They made Johnny Storm actually smart. He is an intellect who you could believe is an actual certified and trained astronaut. And that's what I love about how they handle these four characters. They're all intelligent. Yes, Johnny Storm and the Thing are the comic reliefs, but the film shows us great moments as to why they are just as intelligent. And of course, as you can imagine, the Thing was awesome. When I first saw his design in that first trailer, I almost cried. Comic accuracy at its finest. But what I love is that he's not just this grizzled walking rock monster. He has a lot of heart and humanity. Despite him looking abnormal, he is still kind and shows heart and is still human at the end of the day. But unfortunately, out of the entire main four, I feel like he is the one that gets sidelined the most. The arc between Ben Grimm and Rachel Rosman was heavily cut short. It could have been something great. It could have fed more into the human side of the Thing. If anything, adding that would have added more heart to this movie. Now, this film does have heart, don't get me wrong. I'm just saying, it would have added a bit more seasoning to the chicken, you know what I mean? Also, I would have liked if the film had explored Ben Grimm's Jewish heritage because it is a part of the character. But at this point, I guess it is what it is. Release the Shockman cut. But out of all of the Fantastic Fours, this is easily the best ensemble, no doubt about it. The soundtrack in this movie is a blessing to my ears. This soundtrack is some of Michael Giacchino's best work. That Fantastic Four theme is ethereal. Out of all of the MCU films we've had, especially recently, this is hands down one of the best looking visually. The space sequences, the powers of the Fantastic Four, the look of the Silver Surfer, and the overall look of Earth 828 looked cosmic. I don't think I have seen visual effects look this incredible since Guardians 3. Now, although these visuals are top tier, I have to admit, there is one scene near the third act where you can easily tell there is CGI present. But technologically speaking, I just think we have not reached a point where we can make CGI babies look good. Yeah, there is a scene where Franklin looked a little weird in the third act. Like, that might be up there with the Squid Game baby. That might be up there with the Twilight baby. It was noticeably bad. But listen, I'd rather take these visuals with the weird looking baby over whatever the hell Brave New World was. I am obsessed with the world of Earth 828. I love the retro futuristic 60s aesthetics. This universe is a lot more appreciative of the sci-fi fantasy aspect of Marvel, and this film leans more into that, and I truly admire that. Seeing the entire team use their powers to the fullest brought so much joy to my life. Reed's stretchy powers didn't look weird. Johnny looked great when he's on fire. The Thing is clobbering things, but Sue Storm easily had the best powers. And once again, it just further proves why Sue Storm is the most powerful. I love that they created these miniature set pieces for Galactus so you could really feel his presence. And the space chase sequence leading to the black hole between the Fantastic Four and the Silver Surfer was some of the best action we've had in the entire MCU. Visually, it was spectacular and you could tell what was happening on screen. Now, Galactus. Wow. Galactus had a presence. Galactus was terrifying. And best of all, Galactus was no longer a stupid ass cloud. The fact that that choice made it out the writer's room was alarming. When Galactus is on screen, he has such a huge grand scale presence that our heroes look like ants compared to him. And his voice was haunting. Ralph Ineson was the perfect person for the role, and I hope we see more of Galactus in the future. I don't care what nobody says. This is the best Silver Surfer has ever looked on the big screen. Julia Gardner was awesome as Shala Bal. In this movie, we learn more about the character. We learn about her origin. All of her surfing scenes were superb. This is the coolest Silver Surfer has ever looked, and visually the best looking. There were people on the timeline telling me the Silver Surfer from 2007 looked better than Silver Surfer here in 2025. Guys, be serious. Don't even joke like that. One of the biggest positives of this film is that for the first time in a while, an MCU film actually had high stakes. The stakes felt high. I felt like people could die at any moment. I genuinely did not know how this film was going to end. But those same high stakes truly elevated the emotional moments in this film. Yes, Marvel actually allowed their emotional moments to play out and not undercut it with a stupid corny joke. It felt organic and it made me a little bit choked up in a way. It's almost like if you allow your emotional moments to play out, the scenes will be more impactful. Given that this is the kickoff for Phase 6, you do not need to watch any of the predecessor films to understand this project. You can just jump right in and enjoy it for what it is. It serves as a great standalone film while also setting up the next big chapter of the MCU. Even with all of the great things this movie offers, you can tell it was cut to hell. The film is still great overall, but you can tell there was some missing footage. I know for a fact there is a 2.5 hour cut out there, which is why I'm saying release the Shockman cut. But in the end, guys, the Fantastic Four First Steps is once again fantastic. It's got heart, it's got humor, it's got stellar action, and it is a clear sign that Marvel is on the right track when it comes to quality over quantity. So, plugging the Fantastic Four First Steps. Into the rank system, I am placing this one into the pinnacle zone. But yeah, y'all, that is pretty much my review for the Fantastic Four First Steps. Let me know down in the comments section below what you guys thought about the film. Did you love it? Did you hate it? Are you excited for Avengers Doomsday and the next big phase of the MCU? Or next big Avengers level theme, whatever, you know what I mean. But whatever you thought, let me know down in the comments section below. And as always, guys, leave a like and subscribe if you want to see more, and I will see you all in the next one.